In the last video, I spoke about call options. Remember, call options give you, the buyer, the right but not an obligation to buy stocks from the option seller at any point before expiration and at a specific price. Now, a put option works in the opposite way. With a put option, you, the buyer, get the right but not an obligation to sell 100 shares of a security per contract, like Apple, to the option seller within a specific time period and at a set price. And in exchange, you, the put option buyer, will pay a premium for that contract. Now, you might be wondering why someone would want to buy a put option. Well, people buy put options all the time as a form of insurance against the price of an underlying equity or even a portfolio going down. Let's look at Jimmy and Sally once again. Let's consider the same coffee example from before of Jimmy and Sally. And remember, Jimmy still has a warehouse full of coffee beans. But today, Jimmy is worried that the price of coffee beans could go down in price over the next 3 months. So he wants to protect his stash of coffee. And the way he does this is by buying a put option on his coffee beans. Today, coffee beans trade for $10 a pound, and Jimmy buys a put option on coffee beans with a strike price of $10 a pound that expires in 3 months. And in exchange, Jimmy pays a fee or a premium of $1 a pound to Sally, the put option seller, so $100 for the option. And remember, Jimmy is doing this because he has a warehouse full of coffee beans and he wants to protect his investment. So if the price of coffee beans goes down, Jimmy can then sell them to Sally for the $10 a pound, the strike price that's specified in the contract. Now, fast forward to expiration, and as you guessed it, we have 3 possible scenarios. Scenario 1. The price of beans goes down to now $8 a pound. Well, Jimmy is happy because now he's going to sell 100 pounds of his coffee beans to Sally for the contracted price of $10 a pound because now they're only worth 8. Scenario 2. At expiration, coffee beans still cost $10 a pound. Bean prices were obviously pretty stable, so the option expires worthless. Now, if Jimmy wants, he could still sell Sally the coffee beans, but there'd be no reason to do so because the price of beans are still $10. He could also sell the coffee beans to anyone else on the market for the same price, or he could just keep them. Scenario 3. The price of coffee beans has gone up to $12 a pound. Whoa. Well, now what? Well, the option expires worthless. Jimmy wouldn't sell Sally $10 coffee beans if he can get $12 on the market, right? And yes, Jimmy loses his $100 in premium, but he's happy because now coffee beans are worth $12 a pound. Let's look at some real-world examples of put options and how they work. Remember, people who buy put options believe the price of the stock will trade below the strike price on or before expiration. Let's take this real-world example of Apple. In this example, Apple is trading at $168.82. A put option buyer would expect the stock to trade below the strike price by expiration. In other words, they're bearish on the stock. So let's say you think Apple is going down over the near term. Well, you could buy a put option at a slightly lower strike price, say $160, that expires in 3 months. Now, at any point between today and expiration, you can choose to exercise the option and sell 100 shares of Apple to the put option seller at $160 a share. And of course, you're only going to do this if Apple trades below $160. So what's in it for you? Well, let's say at expiration, Apple is now trading at $150 a share. Remember, your put option has a strike price of $160. That means you can sell 100 shares of Apple for $160 each, $10 a share higher than the current market price of $150. Of course, if at expiration Apple is trading above the $160 strike price, well, the option expires worthless, and the only thing you'll lose is the premium you paid for the option.